Reggae legend Bob Marley, his wife Rita, his manager Don Taylor, and the band member Lewis Griffiths were hospitalized after receiving gunshot wounds during a shooting incident which took place at Marley's home at 56 Hope Road in 1976. When news of the attack broke, there was a whirlwind of accusations, allegations, finger-pointing, and blame, accompanied by questions such as who had carried out the shooting, who had sent the gunmen, and why did they not finish the job?
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
To this very day, some 40 plus years on, some of these same questions have been left unanswered. This as the shooting remains shrouded in mystery, adding to the fact that the gunmen were never caught. Well, not by the police anyways. The reality, according to many, was that the famous assassination attempt had its genesis in the tribalistic political climate of the day. 1970s Jamaica was an impoverished and divided nation, with violent gangs fighting for control over the poorest neighborhoods. The left-wing Prime Minister Michael Manley was a polarizing figure, and political tensions and violence were rife, especially when there were elections on the horizon. In late 1976, a general election was due to be held. Marley had previously backed Manley, but this time the singer wanted to distance himself from the government. To try to help calm passions, Marley suggested holding a free outdoor concert in Kingston in December. Now, obviously, to do a concert like that, it might be a bit naive to say that there was no politics involved in it from the beginning. Because even to host a small concert in Kingston at the time, you had to have approval from the government. So to do a large concert like Bob wanted to do, it all had to be done almost directly through the Prime Minister's office. So for all intents and purposes, and indeed appearances, it looked like this was a benefit concert for the People's National Party. Tensions heightened when the Prime Minister publicly endorsed the idea and moved the date of the election to coincide with the event. Bob's best intentions for a non-political concert had bitterly backfired. Marley wanted it to be a non-partisan, completely apolitical event. He did not want to be seen as supporting either party, but simply wanted to perform for his people. In spite of his intentions, it was evident that some people felt the concert signified Marley was endorsing Manley and his party. Whether he liked it or not, Marley was an inherently political individual. People wanted him on their side, as he had become a prominent public figure and an international sensation. Not to mention, his music and philosophy seemed to support the socialist ideology of the PNP. He was a man who rejected the JLP and their direct association with the United States and capitalism. Consequently, the free concert angered many people on the side of the Jamaica Labour Party. The 1976 general elections marked the beginning of a period of bloody political violence in Jamaica, resulting in a state of public emergency being declared by Prime Minister Manley in June of that year.
We have witnessed a type and scale of violence unique to our history, which has driven fear into the heart of every decent Jamaican citizen. We will not stand by and allow this sabotage of our country to continue. We are proclaiming a state of public emergency.
Approximately 500 people, including some prominent members of the Jamaica Labour Party, who were accused of trying to overthrow the government, were detained without charges and held at the specially created Gun Court Detention Center at Up Park Camp. Among those detained were Claude Massop, Pernell Charles, and Olivia Babsy Grange. Amid the growing political unrest, the Smile Jamaica concert was to be held on the 5th of December 1976 at the National Heroes Park in Kingston. Bob Marley and the Wailers agreed to headline the peace concert. However, after Manley purposefully and strategically moved the general elections up to within 10 days of the concert, those loyal to both parties considered the Smile Jamaica concert an endorsement of the PNP. At approximately 8:30 p.m. on the 3rd of December 1976, 2 days before the concert, 7 men armed with guns raided Marley's house on Hope Road. Marley and his band were on break from rehearsal. His wife Rita was shot in the head in her car in the driveway as she was leaving the compound. The gunmen shot Marley in the chest and left arm. His manager Don Taylor was shot multiple times in the back and the groin. Wailers band member Lewis Griffiths took a bullet as well. Amazingly, there were no fatalities. Incredibly, 2 days later, an injured Marley turned up to perform for more than 80,000 patrons. It was one of the most monumental shows of his career. He was now being viewed in the realms of a national hero. When asked why he still performed at the concert after getting shot, Bob righteously stated, "The people who are trying to make this world worse aren't taking a day off. How can I?" Feeling betrayed, Bob fled the island the morning after the concert to the UK for a self-imposed exile. Nobody had been caught, and nobody knew exactly why the assassination attempt was made. There has not been a shortage of accusations or possible reasons for the attempt on Bob's life though. There were suggestions that the attack was related to a fixed horse race involving Bob's best friend Alan Skill Cole. Allegations are that Bob was paying off Cole's debt, but he had missed a payment, and as a result, he was shot. Larry Guntz, author of the book Born for Dead, claims that chairman of the 1978 peace concert, Trevor Phillips, was told by Marley that Lester Lloyd Cook, more popularly known as Jim Brown, Seaga's bodyguard at the time, was involved in the shooting. Nancy Burke, Marley's neighbor and friend, recalled hearing the Wailers percussionist Alvin Patterson say, quote, "It's Seaga men, them come for kill Bob," end quote. After the shooting, numerous reports indicated that the gunmen returned to Tivoli Gardens, a neighborhood loyal to the Jamaica Labour Party and the birthplace of the notorious Shower Posse. After the shooting, the American embassy sent a cable titled Reggae Star Shot, motive probably political. In the cable, Ambassador Gerard wrote, quote, "Some see the incident as an attempt by JLP gunmen to halt the concert, which would feature the politically progressive music of Marley and other reggae stars. Others saw it as a deep-laid plot to create a progressive, youthful Jamaican martyr to the benefit of the PNP. Those holding the latter view note that the 4 persons shot, 3 of them including Marley, only suffered minor wounds." Interestingly, Bob was placed under police guard by the PNP after he started receiving death threats over his involvement in the pending concert. But curiously, on the night of the shooting, not a single guard was present, but they all reappeared after the incident. Timothy White, the author of Catch a Fire, claimed that information he received from the JLP and the PNP officials, as well as US law enforcement officials, led him to believe that Carl Bayer Mitchell, a Jamaica Labour Party aligned enforcer, was contracted by the CIA to organize Marley's shooting, and that Jim Brown led the assault on Hope Road. Of note, the Central Intelligence Agency had opened a file on Marley in which they labeled him as a subversive, and they were watching him. Don Taylor, Marley's manager, claimed that both he and Marley were present at a ghetto court in which the gunmen who shot them were tried and executed. According to Taylor, before one of the shooters was killed, he admitted the job was done for the CIA in exchange for cocaine and guns. People became afraid of Bob Marley because he had the airwaves, and there are forces that did not like that. Bob himself has admitted to knowing who shot him, but he has never publicly called any names.
You never saw the gunman?
At that time, no.
But you know who did it?
Yeah, I know.
Were they caught?
No, but I don't call the police. It's just, crime thing.
He would go on to write very specific songs about the assassination attempt, like Ambush in the Night and Rasta Don't Work for No CIA. Perhaps this event, though as evil and sinister as it was, turned out to be a blessing in disguise, as the resulting self-imposed exile led Bob to the creation of the Exodus album, which was voted by Time magazine as the greatest album recorded in the 20th century. So the question still remains, not only who shot Bob, but who ordered the shooting. Perhaps those answers are dead and buried.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below. Remember to like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. Follow me on social media and check out the suggested videos on screen. This is Teach saying, until next time, walk good, my friends.